come to the worst place on earth to be a child, Sierra Leone. More infants die here in their first 5 years of life than anywhere else in the world. 1 in 5 from a disease that is completely preventable, tetanus.
The mom is a 19-year-old woman who, this is her first child, first delivery.
We have raced to this hospital to see a critically ill 7-day-old baby with tetanus. There is no medicine to give her, only the drugs they give to horses.
But the tetanus anti-serum that the baby has been given is for horses, not for humans, because you don't have...
We don't have it at all. It's not available locally.
Is it a shortage right now, or is
it's too expensive?
The woman asking the questions is Selma Hayek, movie star and producer, who is here in a different role, humanitarian.
My name is Salma. She has earrings. It's hot in here. Can I touch her?
The baby, Fatima, has been heavily sedated. Tetanus is a miserable way to die. Some doctors say the most painful, as all of the victim's muscles go into spasm. As her overwhelmed young mother watches, Fatima takes one last breath and dies.
What's her name?
Had her mother been given a vaccine costing only 7 cents, Fatima would have been spared.
What happened?
The baby just passed away.
Which brings us to the purpose of this trip. Selma Hayek is here because Procter & Gamble, through its Pampers division, yes, the diaper company, has agreed to provide 1 tetanus vaccine for every package of specially marked Pampers sold. UNICEF is making sure the vaccines get where they are needed. They are clearly needed here. Carol Stern is the president of UNICEF USA.
How's the mother?
I don't know if the mother even realizes yet, because the mother was standing there, we were in the room, so I think they were going to tell her now.
Okay.
But we saw the color go out from the baby.
The next morning, we're off via UN helicopter to a remote corner of the country. Only a third of the people here have access to clean water. Traveling with Selma, a Procter & Gamble executive.
A child dies of tetanus every 3 minutes, and this is
Around the world.
Around the world, and this is a completely preventable death. These are stupid deaths. They're deaths that shouldn't happen.
We have until now delivered 50 million tetanus vaccines to UNICEF to help eliminating
50 million.
50 million, and our commitment is to deliver a minimum of 200 million vaccines.
That's a lot of packages of Pampers.
That's a lot of babies and mothers.
So let me ask you the cynical New Yorker question. This is really about selling things, isn't it? Or is this really a humanitarian effort?
No, I'm the father of 3 daughters, and I think this is a way that we can actually promote our brand, but also do some good at the same time. It's a nice win-win.
Here in Sierra Leone, the vaccines are already making a difference.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. Welcome for peace and unity.
Good morning.
On behalf of the children of Sierra Leone, I want to welcome you to Makeni.
Can I have a hug? Oh, 2 hugs.
We've arrived deep in the rural eastern town of Makeni, former rebel territory, to visit a UNICEF health clinic where women are being given the tetanus vaccine. Selma will lend a hand.
Are you scared? Yeah. Me too.
You nervous?
A little, yeah. I've injected before, but still, it's been a while since I did it.
In the rural areas where there's 1 doctor for 200,000 people, health clinics like these are the front lines. And part of the battle is education, persuading women that the vaccines are safe and that some of their traditional practices, like packing the umbilical cords with cow dung or mud, both of which carry tetanus, are not. Girls marry very young here, often having their first babies at 13. Their husbands often discourage them from breastfeeding, as they believe they cannot have sexual relations with a breastfeeding woman. This practice adds greatly to infant mortality, in a country where malnutrition is rampant.
Would you like to see them all breastfeed for a year?
2 years.
2 years.
That would be ideal.
It's a topic of interest to Hayek, who is still breastfeeding her own baby, and decides to make a point and breastfeed a sick little boy who at 1 week old was born, remarkably, on the same day as her daughter.
It's amazing because he's really looking at me and he's very little. My baby is 1 year, so of course she can suck a lot harder. I thought about it. Am I being disloyal to my child by giving her milk away? And I actually think that my baby would be very proud to be able to share her milk. And when she grows up, I'm going to make sure that she continues to be a generous, caring person. And I think that's the best thing I can give her as a mother.
The experience resonates with her for another reason as well.
My grandmother used to tell us the story. My great-grandmother was in a Mexican little village, and they found a woman on the street inconsolably crying, and the baby was also crying. And my great-grandmother went up to her and said, what is wrong? What is the matter? My baby is very hungry, and I have no more milk. And in the street, my great-grandmother took the baby from her, took her breast out and breastfed that baby, who instantly stopped crying and went peacefully to sleep.
What did it mean for you to be able to breastfeed someone
That
else's?
was amazing because I was really impressed by that story. I am in Africa, I am in Sierra Leone, and I was able to feed an ill baby that was very hungry.
What do you say to Americans who say, listen, we've got problems right at home?
Well, first of all, even the poorest child in America has it tenfold over a child in a developing nation. This is ground zero for child survival.
Is the man on the ground here for UNICEF? I mean, this is not a quick fix, though.
Absolutely not, but it will take 2 or 3 generations. The figures speak for themselves. 1 out of 3 children die before age 5. There is a lot of work to be done, but there is hope.
In the past 10 years, UNICEF has cut in half the number of newborns who die of tetanus around the world. Now joining them, Selma Hayek and the people at Pampers are determined that no child should die of this preventable disease.
It seems that the eradication of tetanus, we're on the brink.
Very close, very close. A huge accomplishment when you see what it takes to give a vaccination.